Ladies and gentlemen, today I will take you on a little journey where we construct the Baryon class. A build built for Commander Ali of the Army of GMODISM. In the Army of GMODISM, that is the patron supporters, commissioned officers from Lieutenant and above get a reward where I build a build for them. And Commander Ali is, well, a commander, and a commander gets a medium build. However, when we started to construct for Commander Ali, she was a lieutenant instead, and then upgraded to commander, but still wanted a Corvette class ship. So this will be a slightly more high-tech Corvette class, and also a little bit more expensive Corvette class ship than what we would usually have for the class. So it's going to be a highly advanced Corvette. And we discussed what we should make, and Commander Ali had the idea that the ship would be called the Baryon class, as you know. And very unusually for the builds I make for my commissioned officers, Ali wanted a ship that will prioritize firepower, make it cost-effective, and functionality over looks 100%. Most people commissioning ships or commissioned officers usually like to have something that looks pretty cool and firepower is secondary. But Commander Ali doesn't really care about looks. I know myself, so I know that I will not make it just a brick because I just cannot build bricks. It has to look some way, otherwise I'm not happy. But I'm going to prioritize functionality over the looks. So we will begin with constructing a little hull, and I'm going to show you how it looks now. So I began with constructing this general shape of a ship. And you can see that this is about 50-ish meters long without the details and stuff like that. And it of course has to be a little bit higher. But I'm going to tell you first what even is a Corvette vessel. Well, it's a lightly armored and compact type of ship, and it should have a pretty shallow draft so that it can go in tight, like literal spaces. Like think archipelagos and like close to the shore and something like that. It doesn't need really deep water to move around, so it should be in that way maneuverable. A Corvette is usually pretty fast and agile as well, and it usually has stuff like anti-ship missiles, medium caliber guns, but Commander Ali actually would like to prefer some large caliber guns. And I can already say that will not be the main gun. We will not have a large caliber gun for a main gun because it really works this well at this scale. So as she really wanted performance over looks, I said the main gun is gonna be a Sandblaster, and then I'm gonna fix some big secondary guns. You're gonna see that later. Right, so here you can see it is growing, so we go make it go a little bit deeper. The red part, painted with this red anti-fouling paint, is going to be under the waterline, so the waterline is expected to be around here. And we also have this interesting shape to have kind of sharp angles to the outer edges. And this is to decrease the amount of damage kinetic stuff does, like fragmentations and direct hit with armor-penetrating weapons. And as you can see here we have the large caliber gun, which I decided to use for the Baryon class. And this is a very interesting new weapon. It's a 9-barrel diff gun, direct input fed gun, which I built just pretty like before making this ship, so it's very fresh and it never has been used on any other vessel so far. And this is supposed to be a, well, basically damage dealing diff gun, which doubles as anti-air gun. it uses 180-degree air detonated frag pieces, which just blows up in a big cloud of frags, dealing so much damage. It's a pretty compact design, so it doesn't have 5 shots per barrel. The outer edges of the barrels has 4 shots each, and the middle 3 barrels have 3 shots each. And you can see here, if we take a little look at the internals, I did a very compact Tetris. I will just tell you all that I felt extremely smart when I managed to put this thing together in this tight space. I felt very smart. I don't know. Maybe you think it's absolute shit, but I was happy. It's 500 millimeters, by the way, or actually 499.99, because that sounds so much better. Like, listen to this. I kind of don't like the default 500mm sound, so I prefer this little bit lower plasticky sound better, which you actually get if you just turn it down to 499.99mm. Isn't that interesting how from the depth physics works? Anyways, here we have the large caliber secondary gun. It will double as an anti-air gun, and it will double as an anti-ship gun that will just absolutely be able to kill smaller enemies in like one blast. As for the main gun, we will have the Rambler. This is a Sandblaster 50mm, which I think I actually constructed this when I made a recent how to make a fast fire APS cannon, because my old one got a lot of use still and it was super outdated. So as you can see here, we have a EMP insulated all-in-one local weapon controller, a simple one-axis turret, and a pretty tight setup with a integrated shot. Of course, 20 modules, sabot head, solid warhead body, and a visible tracer. This is an extremely accurate gun as well, so it is fully recoil compensated, even though it may not have had to be this way. And we're using some slabs of just big duct here in the top, because we just don't want anything to get through here and deal damage. So, you know, even after the update that will come to ducts, I think this type of setup would probably be worth it in cases like this where we want thin armor on the top that is, you know, can't blow through. And yeah, of course it has a backup local weapon controller if the first one would go. But yeah, this is the main gun, and yeah, that's a neat little Sandblaster. So we can just do a little quick unscientific test here. To just, oh yeah, I think we'll have to reload this thing. Okay, let's try now. See if we can get away some fire. Bam! There you can see, when you actually hit with these, it's absolutely scary. And just gonna try out the Sandblaster a little bit quickly here. Can you go there? Something like this. Pretty accurate. It can just constantly output this type of damage to very long ranges and just dig through armor like this. So very compact, nice little Sandblaster. If I'm not misremembering, I wonder, no, is this, was this used on the Gimle class Mark III, or was it its brother? Yeah, it was its brother. This is the Rambler, which I think was used, and this we are gonna use for the Barion class is the Ford SA Quadrat Model 7. There we go. Merely costs 29,000 materials, so it's not even that expensive. And, you know, it has to be pretty cheap too, because we don't have that too high of a budget. So here we can see the next iteration of the ship. As said, this is a Corvette class, and a Corvette class usually has missiles. And the missiles are great to put like this in front of a cannon because they can basically fire undisturbed like that. And we are going to have a lot of firepower in a pretty small place. Also protecting these with ducts just because one of them can't be like destroyed or lost. It has to have a pretty sturdy like frame. If any of these blocks get damaged, that the entire launcher is basically not functional anymore. So we have a big set of medium missiles here, which are a little bit longer and a shorter range of 4 large missiles. And we also have in the front Ali's personal emblem. Even though it is an Army of GMODISM build, our commissioned officers can usually choose a set of color combination, a mark, or a personal logo or something like that to be included in the design to make it a little bit more personalized. And this is the next iteration of the ship. As you can see, we have made it pretty armored here. We do have some metal armor in the core of it. So we have not a full air gap. I'm usually a heavy proponent of actual full air gaps to defend against plasma. However, this is a pretty compact Corvette and we just cannot spare an extra meter. It's not possible. So it's better we have some protection against heat and HESH shells than that we have none. And the metal is within the ship and not outside the ship. So usually I do put the metal outside the ship and the alloy inside it. But having alloy on the outside is a little bit more stealthy. Why we decided to go for that route. Now, here we do have the AI core, so my mice core modules, which of course all of the commissioned officers have access to in their files, which is a smart set, which we can just build together easily, AI cores like this. And we are going with a double core setup for some redundancy and some remote controlled missiles, not like remote guided, but remote controlled, so that we have the missile launcher within here, all safe and sound. We do have it much less armored in the back, since we do expect less fire to come from there, and basically no armor under it. I do realize, however, that the top of the missiles were a little bit vulnerable, so we added a layer of heavy armor on top of here. And as I said, just because we have to focus on functionality and not looks. And by the way, this made me really happy because it was so long time ago I got requested to build something that actually should just perform and looks is secondary. But despite this, I felt that, you know, it have to look a certain way, and you know, I just have to blah blah blah. I just personal reasons I just wanted to. So I started to shape out something that would look like a superstructure because I thought, oh, yeah, we have to have a superstructure. I know a lot of from the depth builders just skip on the superstructure, but I don't know. I think the Ecclesiarchy of GMODISM may have to brand that as some type of heresy. It just feels wrong, man. So it's this was one of the harder small superstructures I ever built. It's difficult to find it shaping together in a sleek way. In any case, as you may notice here, we have added propulsion. And to make our Corvette be a little bit faster than it otherwise would have been, we have included some custom jet engines, because why not? Custom jet engines are cool. We also have the regular Azipods, and I'm actually using my hydrofoil Azipods things, which will make it able for us to basically go at any elevation in the water of our choosing. So the idea is basically to make it more maneuverable and to use these parts to control roll and pitch automatically, so that we don't need to use any power to control roll and pitch. Now, I did manage to squeeze in a reasonable amount of engine power here, thanks to our, let's say, less than efficient engines. or not all of them are actually inefficient. This top one is actually pretty darn efficient. This is a supercharger engine going at a lower RPM, sitting on top of here, and takes care, or is supposed to take care of the load when we are not basically loaded or using our weapon systems. When we are using our weapon systems, we are actually using the very tightly fitted. This is my favorite design of an engine I ever made. I'm very happy with it. It's like a dual engine in one, and it's using a very tight exhaust system, and it goes out like this, and it's just it's very nice. So basically this is supposed to kick in when we actually need it. You can see this little engine underneath here produce more than 5,000 power. And this one, wherever we can find this, okay, it produces like 1,500 power, but much more efficient. Oh yeah, and the custom jet engines, in a future iteration of the custom jet engines, I did add a generator, so we can generate some engine power from them as well, to cover up for the shield that is very expensive that we added for the gun. Yeah. So that is basically the update of it so far. And this thing actually goes around in the water. So I think it's time we remove our little platform. Like that. And you can see it dive down in the water very happily to start and zoom around. Hydrofoiling its way around here. The maneuvers are not really set up very well yet, but okay. So there we are. The maneuvers are now set up. And we are super ready to show you how agile and nice this is just to cruise around with. When I put this together, I was very happy with how easy and nice it was to cruise around in. And we also added some control blocks here, so we actually control the jaw of the thrusters here to make it turn faster. So you can see here when we just take control over it, we're like cruising around 44 meters per second. We can just turn like this. Basically turns on a dime, man. Look at this. It's very... It's just a joy to cruise around with this thing. It's a very nice, yeah, if you were wondering. The perks of having these weird Azipod hydrofoil unit things. And as said, I really wanted to have a neat superstructure, so I finally closed the shape. I found the last missing blocks to kind of shape this out in a way that I liked, giving us a tight but existing interior. Just like that. And I'm just going to tell that the time difference between this iteration and the previous one was like very long. I had some things coming up, so this was like on build pause for some time. So it looks like nothing happened, but I guess I saved the new iteration just because so much time has passed between, even though I basically just added this part. Or I may have added something inside of here as well. You know, we have built up the interiors a little bit. Not too interesting to look at, but still. So it was high time to make shit happen, and yeah, I should have probably saved several iterations in between, but here we go, iteration number 8, I think. This is basically, we have added so many things on this now, as you can see. We have a little detection pod in the front. We have decoed out missiles just like this. You can see here they are just, you know, decoed around. We have nice decos around the large missiles as well. We have extra detection on the turret. It is made fully alloy. We have, yeah, a lot of redundant tracking and stuff like that. And not to mention, we have the super efficient Telem interceptor setup reverse launch system that just basically can shoot down cramshells that are incoming. Very impressive. And yeah, we did some shaping here. We found some ways to fill in the what is this? The ammo boxes. And also we did add some pieces of vertical propulsion, just because we had some issues where I did battle test this ship, and when the Azipods got damaged, it just, you know, flipped over and super, yeah, it wasn't the greatest. So when I added some vertical thrust like this, we could control it better and more securely in the water. And that way we could rely on only one Azipod remaining. Down here I also placed a little sonar decoy, so that if we are going to be hit with torpedoes, we actually have something to not die with to put back. Some decorations and shaping all over the place. As you can see, I did put some thought in making these windows and everything look decent. On top of here, we of course have a decoy, spinning decoy for heat missiles and radar missiles, or just heat guided lasers or whatever. They're just going to try and shoot up here, and that's gonna save us so much health. And of course, detection of incoming laser and shells. We have a little backup launcher here that is mainly supposed to target incoming aircrafts. With incendiary missiles. Not the most efficient, but definitely worth it. And we even have a small little diff gun, and I'm going to show you how this looks. This is how our little diff gun is looking. It's sitting on top of here and shooting 500mm rods at incoming missiles or cramshells, basically making us survive a bit longer. And some more interceptors in the roof like that. Redundant detection and everything like this. And this one is basically set up for combat, so with this I started to do a lot of extensive combat testing. As I'm sure you can see, here we can see the volley coming in like that, and we just have to follow the cramshell here, see if it manages to react, and bam, we blow up the Marauder's cramshell like that, and there it is, AI dead. So it is fully functional, but we have some more iterations to go. And this is like the last middle iteration we will look at before we look at the finalized ship. And as you can see here, we in our battle testing realized that the sides of the ship were a little bit exposed over the waterline, and that it had to have some heavy armor for longevity. So the most vulnerable spaces have been replaced with the heavy armor instead, and it also now uses a pretty smart little thing here. So if we spawn an enemy, you can see that it goes down to its combat altitude. So it sits low like this, only exposing the heavy armor blocks above water and keeping the rest of the ship under the waterline. Keeping a pretty low profile like this while it is engaging combat. And this is of course because water is a great type of armor. And yeah, but it does of course limit speed. So when we're doing this, we're going at like 30 meters per second. And when we are at the higher altitude here, like when we don't have any enemy, we can go up to, I think it's like 45. You can see, yep, it goes up to like 45, no issues at all. 49, basically almost 50 sometimes, which is nice. Now, there was just one last thing that I really wanted to have on this ship, and that was to finally learn breadboard missiles. So yeah, I didn't find very many guides on that. I found some examples with breadboard missiles, and they were so incredibly advanced I didn't understand anything of it. I did find the screenshot on how to make simple top attack missiles, and that made me be able to crack the other codes as well. So finally, I now know how to make some basic missile breadboard things. So the top attack missiles basically make them go at, if the distance is more than 900 meters, they will go at an altitude of 500 meters. And when they are closer than that, it would go to 0 altitude, thanks to the target offset. And then we have the sprint missiles. Basically, if we are 1000 meters or more away from the missiles, they will go pretty slow and thus not burn so much fuel, increasing their range. And then when they are closer, they will go at full speed and basically make them just super fast. And here, as you also can see, we have a little weird delay. So we have a time from launch, and then, it takes 3 seconds, and it's math shenanigans, whatever. I'm going to make a tutorial on how to make missile breadboards for you later. But this is, in any case, the last final iteration of the AOG FS Baryon class. And FS stands for Corvette. That is that's the whole symbols. Right, so you may notice that this little detection component completely changed, and that is because our beloved Sandblaster sometimes basically shot at it, disabling some of our detection. And we have some really advanced and cool features here, which I just can't wait to show you. So, just checking in with the interior, we have decorations all over the place here, and if we go into here, we have a nice little area where we have the cockpit, we have a, control man. I will suppose you will be functioning as the helmsman here at the wheel. And also we have this very cool little thing. So, do you want to do a sneak attack on your enemies with your Corvette? Well, there is a sneak mode. Simply enable submerge ships, and your vessel will go under the sea temporarily. Now, this isn't the most efficient way to use the ship, since most of the detection does rely on that you are over the water. Also, it has no torpedoes, and the defensive measures basically don't work underwater. However, we have a smart little thing that actually changes the ammo on the gun to submarine rounds when we have submarine enemies. The FS Baryon class is smart like that. So basically, since your ships you're facing may not have detection underwater, you can basically sneak up close, and when you're close, just click this button and the Corvette will surface. So that's a cool little manual feature I just had to put in there. Some of the munitions here are actually not air detonated frag, some of them are armor piercing high explosive, and some of them are heat. That is to spread out the damage type, so when we do hit with this alpha barrage, we can do extreme damage by dealing damage in many different ways. The decoys here are smart and are only turned on when they need to be used as well. As you might imagine, that's how I usually set up things. Maybe we should do a little front to back cut to see how it looks when you cut it through like this. And this ship will most likely go up on the Steam Workshop in this condition. But we are of course going to have a talk with Commander Ali to see if she's happy or if there are any changes that would like to be made. So that's how the ship looks inside. And if we do a left-right cut, you can see simply like this. You see the nice missiles, engines, main gun. You can see this is an extremely compact ship. It's pretty rare for me to build ship in this way, but it was a really fun challenge to make a super compact ship reasonably survivable. Of course, compact ships have less survivability, so even though Commander Ali specifically said we should not focus on active defenses, I wanted to include some active defenses so that we don't get absolutely gutted by a single cram shot. Because we at least want to take out the first cram. We're gonna look a little bit at the missile loadout. Here you can see we have a simple radar seeker proximity fused APN guided incendiary missiles with a sticky flare. And on the other side we have radar target simulator or otherwise the same. So they are basically here to be able to take out smaller aircrafts that are getting close to us. Like for example, if we have small scout ships, small bombers, or maybe even nuke ships that are getting too close. Then they should help, and of course our big airburst frag battery back here. So yeah, I'm happy with the looks. I think it looks acceptable now, and even though we did focus on its performance, I am of course very happy with the performance as well. It does perform as I would have wanted it. So yeah, we're going to do some checks against a little array of targets. But I guess you all want to take a little look at it. It's 163,000 materials is the end cost. 2,600 blocks. We have a firepower of 144, 90 firepower from missiles, and 58 firepower from APS. The armor cost is only 19%, so we didn't spend too much on that. Now, it's I don't know, I think it's in the testing, it accidentally got up to 86% in the top speed. That's not really correct, honestly. I don't really know how to like change this, but I think it was when it was rammed or something in battle testing. But the real top speed, you know, I can actually just show you. Here we are, no enemy in the air or anywhere, so we are at the cruise altitude. As you know, it will go lower when we have enemies close by. But basically now, okay, make sure it doesn't turn. We get it up to like 50 meters per second, almost 50-ish meter. This is the top speed. And as you probably remember, we have one pretty efficient engine, and then we have one, let's say, less efficient engine. So that's why I saved a cruise speed. I put the thrust on like 25%, and then it suddenly only burns 0.45 materials per second, using its much more better, like environmentally friendly engine answers. Neither of them are. They all go out in the water, right? Anyways, it uses less materials, and that's good for campaign, because of course all of the ships I build for my commissioned officers generally, unless they say something else, is supposed to be usable in the campaign if one wants to. Oh yeah, we had to have submarine detection, because we're gonna look at that later. But as is tradition, we have to begin with spawning in a marauder. So the marauder has been spawned in. We open up with a battery. That is a complete miss, maybe a little bit small target to shoot at. Now let's follow and see, is it gonna be able to intercept this? Bam. Both the interceptor Telem arrows got to it, but before that, the diff gun, the diff Seawiz gun, took it out. The Sandblaster is in full swing, and you can see, even though we are pretty far away, Basically all the shells hit. And now the vertical launch missiles basically just rain down like this. And when the missiles are operating at their max range, they're actually a little bit stealthy, accidentally, because they don't have any more fuel. So the last bit, they're actually just falling down. That means they are harder to detect, if I understand correctly, because they don't output any thrust. I think that's how it works. I didn't really find too much information about it. I hope that's just not something that I took from real life and accidentally applied from the depth, but I think I heard it somewhere that missiles that don't use any thrust are harder to detect, why there is a reason to even do unguided bombs, or guided bombs but with no propulsion. Bombs instead of missiles, basically. But correct me on that if I'm wrong. I just love that you can put a controller like this. It's so funny. You can steer around, and you can even put decos on the controller. You can see we have like a chromed little crossbar on our controller to make it look a little bit neater. Our Matros here is extremely focused. What is he doing? As said, this Corvette is specifically set up to deal with ships. Specifically water displacement vessels, like your big ships coming in here and you want to take them out. Well, the Barion is here to help. So its missiles and everything is basically set up to deal with ships. Now, if we spawn in an aircraft, I still made it be able to deal with an incoming aircraft, thanks to our missiles, but also thanks to our little airburst diff guns as well. The Sandblaster is pretty accurate, so it does manage to hit an airplane like this. That is not too difficult to take on. Even though enemies may have interceptors, we have a lot of missiles, so... And there we have it going down. Very nice. Very nice. So here we can see we do have a pretty good result. Some of the enemy missiles did take out our decoy, but that is of course fine. Oh, we have a lot of torpedoes coming in here too, but seems like the first barrage of them got to the decoy instead. Isn't that quite nice? So yeah, we are not set up to deal with aircraft, but you know, the Geiger got a lot harder since they upgraded it, but it's still not one of the hardest aircrafts out there, so yeah. And of course our anti-munition systems does a great bit of helping us get out those missiles from the air, making them not deal too much damage. So, as Commander Ali wanted it to be cost effective, it is expensive for being a Corvette, but it is definitely cost effective, and to gauge that we basically wanted to be able to beat ships that are in the roster here of enemies, and that they are a bit more expensive. We're going to spawn the Mandrel, which is a little bit cheaper, to make sure here that everything works fine. Whoops, this is a mortar ship. So that makes a lot of damage if it manages to hit us, but hopefully our countermeasures and anti-munition systems will be able to help us with that. And I do spawn the enemies in this test 3000 meters away, so that you can... Yeah, I've already done extensive battle testing, but I just wanted to show you some actions. And here we can see how sneaky they are, just raining down like this. Now, I don't think the Mandrel has lambs anyways, but... Oh yeah. Here we can see the reach. And we have another swarm there. So the cool thing with the Barion Corvette is that she's just not gonna let ships get close. Usually taking them out before they get close, because of course with limited armor and relying on maneuverability and speed, That is her best defense. Yeah, but I'm pretty happy with these top attack missiles. Simple top attack missiles. What a cool little thing to have. Just makes it, yeah, so much easier to set up. Before, without the breadboard, I remember trying to set up top attack missiles required some extreme tuning with like the activation delay for the guidance, the one turns, and yeah, those pneumatic ejectors and stuff like that, making them just fire out a lot faster. By the way, we have, oh, there you can see the interceptor missiles were able to take out that cram mortar in air, no problem at all. Well, it is a slightly less expensive enemy, so I do expect we can take it out. Let's try and spawn in something a little bit more hard, because it died. Alright, so here we have the mace. 288,000. That's like 120,000 materials more expensive than we are. So it's gonna be interesting to see if we can take it on. Yeah, they have full check. And there we have, oh yeah. Our interceptor missiles were able to shoot down the first volley of cram, but the second volley did do a hit. Second volley, and you can see how much damage that battery does. Only has a few shots per fight, but you know, the armor piercing fragmentation is really scary. The only shield that the Barion uses is actually built into the main gun, and as you can see, it covers most of the ship or most of the important parts. So we don't really need more than this, and it's basically as maxed out as it can be, so it really protects its vessel quite well. And ooh, look at that, we have mortars coming in here. These can be scary if they manage to hit. Looks like we shot down the first volley there. Wow. Looks like we're doing a pretty good job so far. Wow. The interceptors are doing quite a good job. I'm just gonna show you the missiles here as well. We have an active radar seeker, explosive warhead, breadboard receiver, prediction guidance, fins, and variable thruster. If one would want to make this ship a lot better against evasive ships or planes or thruster craft, we would want to change the predictive guidance with the APN guidance. Predictive guidance increases the range of the missiles since it manages to intercept ships that are really far away and just basically going dead at where they are going to be in the future. APN guidance is a little bit more reactive, but thus have lower range. So for anti-ships missiles, predictive guidance is better, or anti-submarine, but APN guidance is better for evasive stuff. All of these are, two of them are high explosive, one is incendiary, and one is 35 degree frag. These are a little bit more advanced. We have a variable thruster, fin, EMP warhead, prediction guidance, breadboard receiver. We have a regulator to make their lifetime 40 seconds, so we have a longer range. Incendiary warhead, explosive, frag, and an active radar seeker. Some of them are set up with more explosive instead of EMP. In a previous iteration, half of them used a signal processor instead to not get tricked by that. But since it's pretty rare enemies use that kind of trickery, the signal processor didn't really help too much, because when you're using like huge decoys and stuff, it doesn't really matter that much anyway. So yeah, I managed to, I just removed it because it wasn't just like really worth it. Now, the Ecclesiarchy of GMODISM would like to forward a decree And that is that the GMODISM Empire is branding the White Flare as blasphemous and must be exterminated. And the reason is that there exists no other heresy than that to the Empire of GMODISM. And they talk a lot about heresy, so for our future campaign, White Flares will always be our enemy in all regards, and we will never be able to compromise with them. We're gonna first try against a Guillotine. This ship as 171,000 does cost a little bit more than our ship, the Baryon, so we will see if we can beat a slightly more expensive ship with this setup. This is like barely a ship. Oh man, looks like we did a pretty good hit there with the with the diff gun barrage in the back. Our 500 millimeters of absolute doom. Yeah, that was a great hit, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. And now the incendiary missiles. Oh, easy, easy. Let's spawn in the Basher. 215,000 materials. So that's like, is it 50,000 more materials than us? I don't really even know what type of ship this is. I don't know if I have spawned it in before. Oh, it uses a lot of missiles. Oh yeah, this might be difficult, man. Using extreme firepower missiles to tackle the Baryon class is a good way to do it, because we don't have very thick armor, so we are so hurt by explosive damage like this. Oh, bam. Oh no. Look at that. Our AI core is completely gutted. We got hit by explosive damage here. Oof. Yeah, man. One thing we could do, however, if we would like to kind of sneak win a battle like this, that is of course to activate submarine mode and fight from underneath the waterline. Yay! Which is a little bit, I suppose, dishonest, but we use active guidance missiles. So yeah, they are probably, they are not finding it. What the hell? Okay. Yeah, well, this is definitely cheesing our way through it. Our Sandblaster will eventually be able to like take it down, but it's definitely cheesing our way here. So it's pretty hard to defend against really big missiles like this if we are not focusing on active defenses. So this is basically a good counter to the Baryon class, since we do use speed and firepower and we're focusing less on active defenses. It's not much we can do. Yeah, we have to focus more on active defenses to be able to intercept missiles like this. If they were purely radar guided, the first couple of batteries would actually go towards our decoy, but it seems that they are not radar guided, and that means we're basically fucked. We'll just have to spawn something in from the Twin Guard, but I think we should, I want to test it against some of its thruster crafts. So let's just spawn the Serenity and see how we can do against it. Serenity is this cute little mech thing sitting around like this, dealing some scary damage. I like the checkerboard armor here. It looks so gladiator-ish. But we can see our Sandblaster is doing a good job here. We haven't really shot off anything important as of yet. Let's see now the missiles are getting in close. Let's see how the Baryon is doing. Ooh, we're getting a lot of missiles shot at us, man. Oh, bam. We really need to get in with a good blast with our diff guns here. Line up. There we go. Bam. Totally missed the action here. What the hell? Don't worry, I paused the game. I just Like the from the depth camera. It's you never get 100% used to it. Oh, look at that! So much fires. It really blew up something important. That the middle gun is completely like gone. 92%. Yeah, it's not really hurt. It looks hurt, but I guess it isn't. Oh! And these little decoys here are absolutely tricking our missiles. Hardcore. I guess we should have had the signaler processor for this. You know, when the Baryon class is facing enemies that is like not Onyx Watch, Deepwater Guard, and I don't know which is the most heavy with decoys, but I assume it's like the Steel Striders and Twin Guard or something. Ooh, bam. Anyways, when we're facing enemies like that, I suppose we should probably like reconfigure the missiles a little bit to make them less dangerous. But yeah, less dangerous but able to deal damage more consistently. I wonder what this sword is used for. Looks like we managed to shoot it down. Probably a lot of that is luck as well, because I know that burst gun thing that it uses sometimes can absolutely just kill us as well, based on previous testing. But yeah, cool. While we're having a little spree here, we're gonna spawn in the Obsession, just for fun. This thing is super cool. I love its like howitzer things. And our Sandblaster is also trying to shoot at hot blocks. Yeah. See if we can shoot down some of those thrusters. That would be an absolute win. Oh! I think that was our crazy guns. Look at that. The cool shoulder mounted howitzers are away, and bam. We could shoot through like one of them, but man. And now our Alpha Striker gun is completely very sad. Damn. Look at that. I wonder how slow the Baryon would be if we would basically use mostly heavy armor for the outer hull. Alright. It's kind of self-repairing itself and stuff. It's a very, very sneaky little design. Oh, we're down to like 63%. Yeah, okay. We are probably not gonna survive this. We're looking very sad right now. Those howitzers eat through our hull pretty well. Yeah, that's gonna be a loss. Well, at least the foe is more expensive. I want to test something from Lightning Hoods. Let's say the kilowatt, it's like 20,000 materials more expensive than us. It is a laser design as well, so it's going to be interesting to see if a laser can eat through us. We do have smoke protection, so we are smoked. So we shouldn't be absolutely zapped by the laser too quickly. But of course, it is like a pretty laser heavy design, so that is a bit scary. Let us just check it. It's like firepower 100 with laser basically. Oh, and it's pretty fast. For an evasive ship like this, probably we would like to use the APN guidance instead. Yeah, I definitely think so. Oh, look at that. We have a barrage incoming. Bam! That diff gun just makes it beat up to much like more expensive ships. It makes it like be able to alpha strike kill more expensive ships than the Badion, so that's a pretty cool little thing. Well, it looks pretty sad though. So it's like at 84%, or it's like 97%, so we're doing well. It hasn't shot at us in a while, so yeah. The Sandblaster is like... No, it just... Oh yeah, there it's starting to shoot again. It's like slowly eating through it. The Sandblaster is doing this really consistent and reliable type of damage. It's just not very fancy to look at. But yeah, it actually does a lot. Just peeling blocks off one by one consistently. And there it goes. Very nice. I think we passed the cost-effective test maybe. We have some more stuff to try. So we're gonna load it in. This is like my project folder. And I think, yeah, you know what? I want to show you the cool thing with the submarine stuff. So when we spawn in a submarine, let's take the Panther. I don't really know if we can take it out, honestly. And I feel we should probably have spawned it a little bit further away. Yeah, well, whatever. As you can see, the ship is not going down to go deep. When it's facing submarine, it's gonna stay pretty high in the water. And this is to evade torpedoes better, since we are now much faster. Some torpedoes are really slow, so we want to make sure that we are going at our max speed to basically be shot less by torpedoes. Now, it takes a little bit time for the changes to take effect, but if we check in here, you can see that it has switched to the anti-submarine shell instead. And that is because we have a submarine, so after some time the shells will not be red anymore, it will not use the tracer, they will instead be yellow. And that is because, of course, it switched ammo. Oh bam, we're pretty EMP protected, but we are being so EMP'd, man. And here you can see, even though we haven't switched to the super cavs fully, we're still using some mixed shells. We have been able to shoot at... Oh yeah, here we can see some super cavs coming in. So the Badion Corvette isn't really designed to fight submarines. But I wanted it to not be completely toothless and out of the blue when it comes to submarines. So if there comes a submarine, it knows what to do. It can switch to a shell that works underwater and shoot at it, because we have underwater detection and stuff like that. This thing is like pretty tough. Yeah. It's pretty tough. A big old normal ship from the Steel Striders, like my neighboring country, 224,000, so that's a good bit more expensive. But if I remember correctly, this is a pretty like old dated design, so it may not be impossible. Here we have the Norge. Love that gun sound. I have to check what caliber that is. We should be very happy we have our shield here. We have like no defenses against something like that. Ooh. Man, we are gonna line up for a burst of our big guns, I think. Bam. You know what? We have to see where these land. Bam, that deals a lot of damage. That's exactly the type of damage we want. Yeah, those howitzer just absolutely do extreme amounts of damage when they hit big meaty ships like this. This Corvette is definitely able to punch upwards as well. Almost doing some destroyer combat, honestly. That type of gun is like more destroyer. Oh, we have another one. And the missiles all over the place as well. Bam, we're just dropping turrets here. Look at that. That is quite nice. I like to see that. How's our Baryon looking? Baryon is looking okay actually. Ah. Not too deep penetration damage, honestly. I guess we should throw in one of the more modern ships. I don't really remember exactly what... I think everything that's called Shark is kind of more... But the Sharks are so darn expensive, it's not even funny. Cat Shark. That's actually cheaper than us. Let's spawn in the Cat Shark. It's, I guess, the closest one in terms of health. Oh man, that's tiny. I guess it's their modern ships at least, so maybe this Phalanx Seawiz will be able to at least shoot down their missiles or something. Oh, bam. I think it got a pretty rude awakening. Before even firing its guns. Okay, the Cat Shark is not a big deal for the Baryon. It is a more modern type of design, but it is, yeah, it's not the most expensive. It's 117,000 materials, and we are like 160,000, so we are like 50,000 more expensive. I feel the Grey Talons are like only thrustercraft, and the Scarlet Dawn doesn't have much anyways either, so I don't know. We'll spawn in the Carnage just to have a little bit of a check-in. I feel we get absolutely barbecued right now. Oh my. These can't possibly hit. Actually, we did shoot up some grazing blocks. This is like not the type of enemy the Baryon is designed to fight. And we would definitely need APN guidance to deal with these types of missiles. Yeah, you know what? I think we should have a little quick video from the Empire of GMODISM, or a quick little commercial thing, to be honest.
GMODISM Empire needs your help. The GMODIST channel has enough subscribers but not enough watch time. The RealXism channel has enough watch time but not enough subscribers. In January 2027, YouTube will make it very hard for new channels to join the YouTube Partnership Program. And if I don't manage to monetize the GMODIST and RealXism channel before that, it will take me years. Please go and subscribe to the RealXism channel, and go to the GMODIST channel and watch some long-form videos there in the background to help me out. Thank you in advance.
So now, if you want to support the Empire of GMODISM completely for free, you know exactly what to do. Well, I don't really know if we can tackle this thing. It's 94 versus 96. We are in the lead at least, that is good. Our Sandblaster is again a pretty versatile weapon, which is nice. Hard to defend against. Now, our predictive guidance missiles, which are also top attack, is probably not the greatest setup for this type of enemy, but you know, at least it's trying. Water displacement vessels is definitely what we are designed to fight. And we've seen it fight a lot of things that are not water displacement vessels, but, you know, I wanted it to not fight every, like, Deep Water Guard and Onyx Watch thing, or, like, Steel Strider ship. There are, like, so many, I don't really have a good understanding of all of them either, so there is that. Our decoy is, like, long gone. Wonder if our big 500mm diff gun battery is kind of disabled somehow. It hasn't fired in a while, has it? Oh, 80%. You know, I think we actually may win this fight. This is probably going down. Now is like the ultimate water displacement vessel we have to test against is the Crossbones. I don't think a single Baryon class can deal with the Crossbones, because the Crossbones has gotten a lot scarier since the last update. But if we spawn in 2 of them, we are dropping in with approximately 320,000 materials. And if we have 2 of them, yeah, maybe we can beat the Crossbones. The Crossbones will be in a severe material advantage at that point. Oh yeah, we could take down this thing. That's nice. So even if we have 2, the Crossbones will be much more in the lead, but I just want to see if we can deal with that. Alright, here it goes. Crossbones is spawned in. We're gonna follow some shots. Crossbones is deciding what target we will shoot at. Oh yeah. Our like big battery of big damage did a lot there. Oh, this is gonna be so dead, I think. Oh, bam! Yeah, protecting against a cram battery like that, that's mostly luck. I think our entire AI and everything just got cored out. Oh yeah, it's completely cored out. It is completely cored out. Taking on the new Crossbones may have been a little bit of a too hardcore challenge, actually. Since we do have to be pretty lucky to take that on. Look at that. Oh man. I can see from the stats there we're pretty hurt as well. Now the like top attack missiles is raining down here, and seems that their sneakiness comes in pretty well here. Seems like the Baryon didn't get cored out the last blast, and oh bam! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! We're barely standing here. Okay, taking on the Crossbones. I guess that's a little bit of hubris. With only 2 of them. We're having 3 Baryon classes against the Crossbones, so at least now they're facing equal material counts. But in any case, when we're fighting a battleship, if you can't bring another battleship, what you need to do is you need to bring a destroyer. And that we did not. Now, I also did the advantageous thing of spawning the Baryon classes a little bit further away, because that will give us some more time on using our super accurate Sandblasters before the crams get so close. We get absolutely mogged. So yeah. And since the Crossbones is so much wood, it just cuts straight through there. And we get... It's gonna be interesting to see when the broadside of the... or like the full crams are gonna hit. Oh bam, look at that. That's... oh yeah, completely gutted by that shot. It's gonna be interesting to see how good armor will be when they do update it, because right now a barrage of cram, like, you can't even armor against it. You'll have to evade it. Oh! Damn! Damn, we only have one body on left. Oh man, look at the poor remaining body on class. What is it doing? It has had some serious damage. We are really struggling with maneuvers to keep ourselves upright here. Oh! The crossbones is looking pretty flat. Oh, is it dead? It's at 65%. It's not dead. No, it's not dead. It can still kill us. Look at that thing. Oh, bam. It's like hanging on by some pieces of engine. Duct tape and hope. It's almost like our damage that was dealt has accidentally made it almost impossible to hit us with cram shells now. Look at that. Well, that's not a bug, that is a feature, as they say. Well, it does look like 3 Baryon classes will be able to take out the crossbones, but it's safe to say that the Baryon class Corvette is best used against medium ships. Ships in its same size or slightly bigger, because then, or smaller of course, because then it can absolutely kill them very, very easily. When we're going up against battleships like the new crossbones, it is a tad bit harder. Well, there we have it, the build for Commander Ali, the Baryon class. And of course, I do hope you all enjoyed watching this little video, and if you did, you should definitely leave a like. And of course, big thanks to Commander Ali for supporting the GMODISM Empire all this time, and I hope that she will be happy with the results, which I will already know, since I think I will ask that in the Discord for releasing that video you're watching right now. And if everything is fine, you should be able to download this on the Steam Workshop. If everything is as we usually do, then you have a link to download it on, Steam Workshop. So check it out and give it a nice rating. So go check out the Relaxism and GMODISM channel as well. As you know, the Empire needs your help. And about help, big thanks to our helpers of the GMODISM Empire, our commissioned officers in the army of GMODISM. Most notably in this video, Commander Ali, but then of course, the Commodore, the all-around gamer, Commanders Ben Wilkie, Cameron Dixon, Sven Vandervelde, and our lieutenants Anto, Krevi, Daniel Sakin, Graeme Christopher, JD Visage, Josef Ishovsky, Owen, Vincent Verkasts, Volkite, and Scooberox. And to all the cadets. Your monthly support helps a lot, and that is also true for the members of the Ecclesiarchy of GMODISM. So, with that said, I hope you enjoyed this little journey of making the Baryon class part of the second chapter Frontier Fleet. This is your host Eric, and I am signing out.